Hello everybody, how's it going? Trying to get my buddy going here. I have no requests. Let's see. Inviting the man of the hour. Oh my gosh, there he is. Hey, how's it going, Randal?
Hey,
Hello, how's it going? We got Sarah Y. Rod. How's it going? Said hello.
hello, Sarah.
We're coming directly from San Francisco, Japantown.
Wow.
And it's
So you're right
gonna be
there.
a little noisy.
Yeah,
And this place is
that's
really
okay.
cool. It's Crumpets and Tea Salon. So make sure we get some high tea while you're in San Francisco, okay? Because it's right here at the venue.
Nice. So you're like right outside the actual venue itself, like the People's Cinema. Is that what it's called?
Hold on a second. I got this big bug that just went by. Did you hear that? Say it one more time.
So that's the venue right there. That's the New People's Cinema.
Yep, New
Wow,
People's
amazing.
Cinema. It's also owned by Viz, which is like, the anime thing. Let me kind of pull back a little bit so you can see the opening. There it is.
Okay, yeah, there we go. There's the sign.
So we're at New People's Cinema right here in San Francisco, Japantown. It's actually an amazing theater. If you ever get to see it. Oh, my sister's in the house. Hey, what's up, Janet? So just saying, gonna
Hi,
wave at
everyone.
everybody.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you for joining us. We're just here to talk about a lot of things, but we most notably is the accomplishments of Randal right now, because he actually has a movie screening at the Another Hole in the Head. It's the 18th annual Another Hole in the Head Film Festival here at New People's Cinema here in San Francisco, Japantown.
Oh yeah.
Oh, my dad's in the house too. Hey, what's up, Pop? Got everybody in the house. So
Hi everyone.
I think we both share something very uniquely in common about the film that you're about to present, right?
Yeah. Well, our films, like, despite being made in total independence of each other, are sort of sibling movies somehow. Like they have very similar attributes. I mean, they're both Filipino-American takes on classic Filipino mythology, which means that we've both taken something that's very ancient and very cultural and sort of bent it to sort of modern day and sort of American as well, Filipino-American purposes. So yeah. And
Yes, exactly. I mean, we both probably were motivated on very. Wow, Japantown is alive tonight. I thought a Sunday night would be quiet out here, but we're both motivated by very similar reasonings for wanting to do this kind of movie. Can you talk a little bit about why you wanted to make Monsters Without?
Yeah, so the origin of the story really is I was living in Philippines for sort of an extended amount of time with my then girlfriend, now wife, and producer, Malu, who is also with me, but I won't turn the camera to her or she'll be mad. And I was living there for long enough that I started to hear about the mythology and these things I hadn't really heard about in America. My mother had never told me these creatures. She only referenced the moo all the time. She would tell me, like,
the ghost, the lady in white.
But I was living there for
oh
a
my
long
God, I gotta
for a
really
while.
stop that person back there. Look at that.
He really needs to go. He can't wait.
Yeah, he's
Or
getting
he's having fun.
He's getting blocked over there. I don't know what's going on over there. By the way, this restaurant next door, Hikari, is really friggin' awesome.
Well, I think I'll
check that one out. It's some good
we'll
restaurant.
inevitably try that one. Sweet.
It's like I know you got Little Tokyo in LA, and they got the little train that will come in, the Shinkansen, right? It will come in and will deliver your sushi to you.
Oh wow.
So, hey, what's up? Edwin's in the house. What's up, Edwin? How's it going?
Hey, Edwin.
Thank you all for joining us. Sorry,
Yeah,
I was getting a little distracted by some honking over there because I have to stay outside the building. Otherwise, I'd have to do the entire interview with a mask on.
Yeah.
But we're outside. We're socially distanced, but we're going to be we're going to be screening Randal's film, Monsters Without, here at the Another Hole in the Head Film Festival. It's the 18th annual, and that's happening next weekend. It's also streaming, online at the website Another Hole in the Head. It's you got to get the acronym AH. Let me write it. Actually, let me just type it in the comments here. Another Hole in the Head. Another Hole in the Head.
Yeah, and for those of you who choose to watch it streaming, you don't just have to watch it off of your computer or your virtual device. They offer a lot of options on how you can cast it to your smart TV. So, check out the website, look into some of their help stuff, because they have a lot of options to optimize your viewing experience. You can really see it at a very high quality level. You're not missing anything. It's not a theater, but it's the next best thing if you check it out online. So please do.
But if you do happen to come down here to New People, the projection is fantastic. It's like top notch. This the projection system they got here, and it's all THX rated audio. So the entire thing is all THX level. So we're gonna get all the goodness of your audio there too. I haven't heard the final sound mix, by the way. So
Sorry?
I have not heard the final sound mix of your movie, so I'm actually really excited to see that part.
Yeah, so the guys who did the sound mix are from Philippines, and they live in Cebu, and they're great. They came in last minute and really saved the day. And, this is a low-budget independent movie, but we're dealing with these sort of blockbuster-style things. We've got creatures, and we've got things, exploding. It's a big deal. It's we can't just record on the set and call it a day. There's a lot that needs to be built in the sound design. So, yeah, I'm excited to hear it in a theater.
So maybe you could talk a little bit about what your film is actually about. Like, what's the story? What's the plot?
For sure. So, I think the sort of quick, cynical way to pitch it is that it's sort of the Ghostbusters, except with Filipino monsters, Filipino mythology. So it's a little bit comedy, probably less comedy than Ghostbusters. But it's about this team of folks who are trying to navigate their own interpersonal relationships while at the same time dealing with these monsters of Filipino mythology, all the aswang and the capre and all these things. And their story really turns on the fact that this really ancient new monster called Nameless shows up, and he has a plan, a sort of evil plan that he wants to enact on the world. And this team, they're the only ones who stand in his way, and they have to band together, put aside their differences, and figure out if they're going to save the world or not.
Cool, man. And by the way, this is interactive, so I know there's a lot of people in the chat. You guys at any point could ask either of us questions about Philippine mythology. I think the amount of time we spend on a movie kind of makes us kind of borderline experts on the topic, but I don't want to claim I'm an expert,
Yeah. If anything, if there was anything that research taught me, it was...
Okay, you froze on us. I think you froze, or I froze. I'm not sure. Did I freeze or do you freeze?
Maybe we're all frozen, yeah.
Okay, we're all frozen. Okay, we're back.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if there's anything that I learned from research, it was that there's endless research to do on the monsters. And, one big thing that I learned was that since each of the islands, Philippines is a lot of different places, all split up, little islands, and culture is very different on each one. So their take on each of these creatures is totally different. So there's no way, there's no correct way to portray any of these monsters, because someone on the other islands, they're going to say, no, it's not like that. Those guys don't do that.
Yes. Like,
so
I heard so many different variations of, like, with the aswang. It goes, hey, that's not an aswang. That's a manananggal, right? It's like, well, yeah, you're right. It is. It technically is both, right? But I don't want to argue with anybody about how they perceive any of these things. So
yeah, that's not an argument you can win.
No, it's not. I don't. It's like I was born and raised in the States, and I learned about all this stuff secondhandly when I went to the Philippines with my grandmother back in, I don't want to say when exactly. And believe it or not, I wasn't raised to like tell the story. Oh my gosh, somebody is here. Hold on a minute. A guest. We're live on Instagram. Live? This is Jason. Oh, can
I take my mask off?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I'm
Howdy.
still Jason. Hi.
Hi, this is Randall. He's one of our filmmakers. He's
I'm not a filmmaker.
No.
Oh, he's a
Randall.
filmmaker. Oh, yeah. Hi, Randall. I tell you.
He does Monsters
I'm
Without,
Randall.
which is going to be screening next Saturday here.
Cool.
So we are doing an Instagram live to tell people that they should come out or watch it online, streaming on the website. And basically, he hosts. I mean, every time I've been to events, he's been the host.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's the host. He's the host.
I'm dying of alcohol poisoning, so no, I'm not. I don't know why. I just lie like that. He's taking over.
No, I'm not taking over. He's still
taking
the
your
man.
hat.
You know?
I love your hat.
You know?
Anyway,
And he has the best hats. I'm gonna probably.
Oh.
Somebody tried to call me. I think
Yeah,
somebody tried to call me.
that's dangerous.
That's dangerous. But
You better
he's
take
actually been instrumental to like all the film festivals here.
Yeah. I was not prepared for an interview.
It's okay. You don't have to.
Okay, yeah.
All right,
You do your thing, man.
go ahead and head on
I'll
in.
just-
I'll catch you in the. Oh, you're gonna hang out here? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
All right,
why not?
he's gonna hang out, and he's probably gonna heckle me from the sidelines.
Absolutely.
All right, so
Nice.
back to what we were talking about. We were talking about like how we learned about like Philippine folklore. I mean, did you grow up knowing about the creatures of the Philippines?
I really didn't. For me, my story is very much of sort of total ignorance of Filipino culture, not just the mythology, but most of the sort of culture until I was an adult and I came to Philippines sort of on my own terms. And that's when I sort of started to learn more about the culture and more of my roots and all those things. So it was very much a later on sort of thing for me. So no, I didn't. I think I knew about the Aswang. I think I knew about that one, like very vaguely. I probably couldn't even recall its name, but I think my mother might have told me that. But other than that, no. But the Aswang is like the sort of kingpin, like the crown jewel of the mythology. It's just the most imaginative and interesting one.
Right. I know we both are like on a similar wavelength of a budget for our films. Like we're not backed by any Hollywood industry, not by the Philippine industry or any film industry that I'm aware of, right? Maybe different industries, but we're not going to talk about it. It's probably illegal, actually. But no, I'm just kidding. Nothing like that. But I knew that when I started off to create the creature, she splits in half. She has wings and she has this long piercing tongue, right? Like I had to really think about how is that going to translate on screen and how are you going to pull that off, right? How did you pull it off?
Oh, well, yeah. Very involvedly. First of all, we knew that we would only have a certain amount. We wanted to limit the amount of time you really get full Aswang where she's split in half and flying and everything. So we were very judicious in writing it like, hey, let's make this count. I kind of think of it as like in the first Avengers movie, they're real careful about giving you only a little bit of Hulk for a long time and like at just the right times. So it's like, yeah, let's get the Aswang thing to only happen very occasionally, at least in my movie. I know that you were you got real ambitious. Like you had the Aswang like coming in and out all throughout, whereas I was very like, oh, let's hold back as much as we can. But in the end, when we did we ended up doing a lot of it's mostly practical effects, and then doing totally impossible things. That's where the visual effect component comes in, and we have to do green screens and compositing and all of that sort of stuff. But like we sort of wrote it so kind of like the Fly and the Jeff Goldblum Fly, like she has multiple forms, like it takes a long time for her to go full Aswang. She spends a lot of her monster time sort of just changed in the face.
Right.
We had like stages for her.
And she had the contacts and she had like makeup. Again, the makeup work in your film is fantastic. I mean, who did all the makeup work? That's practical, right? So that's real in camera.
Yeah, and that was a big. I mean, that was part of the origin of the movie. Was we met our makeup artist Jacqueline Holden during post production for my previous film, and we all hung out after a day of filming, and she was telling us like, yeah, I'm Filipino American, and yeah, I can do all sorts of makeup for very, very little money. And we were like, really? And she showed us some of her stuff. And
that's
like,
a little too giving, I'm telling you. Say, for a little bit of money, I'd say that's very giving of that person, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, I think, she really wanted to show her stuff, and, well, she can do good effects for a little bit of money. So for, a little bit more, she can go all the way. And on the budget, we basically just told her, like, hey, what do you need? Like, you're the one that we want to give the lion's share the support to. And, it shows. You can see that she really was able to pull through some pretty heavy makeup jobs. There's one or two monsters that are like full body costumes that took 5 hours of application. It's like Hellboy,
Oh God, yeah. I was impressed when I saw like just the amount of detail and how elaborate like the makeup work was in your film.
Yeah, that was, it was so nice that she was so good, because normally you have to be careful with your makeup and shoot it in the dark and get a lot of shadows and stuff and do every trick in the book to hide the seams. But with her, it was like, let's have scenes in broad daylight because no one's going to see through this. Like, it's not, like when you were with the guy, it was Andrew Riley in some of the bigger costumes, it just felt like you were there with an inhuman presence. Like, all of our extras just thought, like, the extras were all lined up on one day for their scene, and then he walked on set, and they all just gasped.
Whoa.
Like, they just felt like, oh, whoa.
We got a real monster on this set here.
Yeah, and he's like 7 feet tall, so, like,
holy crap.
Yeah, he, like, in the movie he towers over them, but he really does. That's not, like, apple boxes or anything. He's truly, like towering over the people.
One thing I had to deal with when I was doing Vampariah was I had green chroma key pants.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And then I think I released an early photograph of that, and everybody says, "Why is she wearing green pants on a green screen? Isn't she gonna lose her legs?" Right? Right.
That's just a fashion statement. It's not going to be keyed later or anything. It's just.
I know. Did you happen to have anything like chroma key pants, or did you just have to just like do a careful roto work for that?
Well, I think it was something that's pretty common in VFX, which is we shot it with green screen pants, and then later I looked at it like, this ain't keying out right, rotoscope it. So that sort of thing happened a lot.
It did happen. I admit, like, it was just actually helpful because if anybody doesn't know what roto is, it means you're gonna carefully trace frame by frame something out of the frame. That means it's like 24 frames per second, about, depending on your frame rate. And so that could take hours for each 1/24th of a second, just to kind of put in perspective the amount of effort and passion that you need to take to create a half-bodied Aswang flying in your scene. I just want everybody to know.
There's one scene in the movie where she flies up in the air and like a bunch of people chase after her, and we weren't able to shoot that with any green screen stuff. There was camera movement and everything. So the people chasing after her are all rotoed, which was an incredibly difficult roto job.
Oh my God.
You can still see the seams a little bit if you frame by frame it, but it came out pretty good. But it was like, it's like 4 seconds of like 5 people all running towards camera, and it was tough.
Hopefully they'll come up with an AI type of app that will actually know how to roto it for you. So,
After Effects has something like that tries, but I don't know. Have you tried the Roto Brush too on After Effects?
Oh, that was my best friend. That was my best.
Mm-hmm.
Me and Roto Brush got to know each other really well.
Yeah. It's getting better. It's getting better. It's not perfect, but they're getting somewhere with that.
And that's another thing too about us. We both did a lot of our own visual effects, so we didn't, we probably didn't have the big budget to go out and get a Marvel Studio effects house.
We couldn't go to ILM.
What?
We couldn't go get ILM or Weta Digital to do our stuff.
I would love to. I would have loved to just like hose it down with some money and pull some of those guys to do some of my heavy lifting, but we had to do it ourselves.
Oh yeah, and
DIY
I think we're
filmmaking.
part of that sort of first generation of people that are doing that. There's always been directors that sort of do their own visual effects, but now with computers, I think it's going to become more and more for indie directors that want to jump into like blockbuster movie making, even without the big budget. Like, there's going to be people like me and you that are like willing to get their hands dirty and do the visual effects themselves. And more because of technology, you can get better results, even if it's just you yourself doing it.
And you have a really fun cast here. Talk about the people you worked with with this movie.
Oh yeah, so our star, we have our two stars, Jake Macapagal, who was the star of Metro Manila, which played at Sundance and all sorts of places a little while ago. It's a terrific movie. It's hard to watch now. It's sort of out of distribution, but if anyone catches that, it's really great. And he's
no bootlegs anywhere we can catch if in case it's not available. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm always.
I'm not going to say online.
Yeah, I'm trying to resist the urge to find it that way, but
yeah, I want to support all the filmmakers and stuff, but sometimes, some of these films are super rare and hard to see, and you have to kind of catch it when it's either at its limited screenings and its limited distribution when it's available.
Yeah, there's distributors that aren't doing the job that they have, which is distributing. They let their older titles just fall out of attention, and that sucks. But that's just how it is. But so he was in Metro Manila, which is great, and he's with us for a part in Monsters Without. And then we've got Jessica Neidstadt, who is a YouTube star. She's got quite a few followers on YouTube. I mean, she's just does something totally different on her YouTube channel from what she's doing in our movie. But it was really great working with her. It's her first real big acting role, and she was amazing. She came at it like totally gung-ho. She knew she knew the script. She knew what she wanted to do with the part. She had a take on the character, and I'll leave it to people to discover, but she did a great job. I think she's a real find in the movie, so I hope more comes to her. And then we've got it's an ensemble cast, so I'll just rattle off a few more names. We've got Dana Jameson, who was the star of our previous film, Far Away, and she's great. We've got Christina Yun, who is she's a director herself, actually. That's her main thing, is directing, but she came in and filmed a role for us. And she's great. Look for her movie coming out next year called B-Side for Taylor. And then we've got Leonard Olaar and April Rose Estoy, Andrew Riley, and of course, there in the audience, we've got Edwin Santos playing the head of Phase. He has a little short but very dramatic role. You won't be able to miss him. He's only in a couple minutes of the movie, but it's sort of one of the climactic moments. So he's just right there.
And thanks again, Edwin, for being so supportive. He's said it right on the money. Support indie film. It's a hard journey to get your film out, but I have a feeling you're going to get distribution for this. I mean, has there been any word?
Yeah, I'm already starting to hear things sort of rattling around. Definitely this film festival attention we've been getting is really helpful. And I think the fan base is starting to sort of materialize. It's becoming clear that there are people who want this movie and who are enjoying it. We've been getting some pretty good reviews from independent review outlets. I think people are liking the sort of combination of horror and campiness and humor. I think it's starting to play and find that audience. It's a very particular audience for this movie. It's not, necessarily everyone on the planet, but for those folks who are on its wavelength, I think it's going to work great. And I think, we're going to hopefully be able to get this thing really far out there after our festival run.
I will say one place that really for sure fits is this festival that it's going to be in. The fact that Vampariah found a home in it a few years back, and they're again inviting another film, but that features similar. Actually, you got more creatures. I didn't get a chance to cover all the fun creatures of the Philippines like you did. Like I just had one type of creature. I hinted that they're all out there. I just didn't. I didn't have the budget to put them all in there. That's where I do
Yeah,
the line.
I mean, you don't hold back. You've got some heavy duty action scenes, that really pull the weight there. So I look at your movie and I'm like, wow, I wish we got some of that stuff going on there.
They're different movies. I mean, they deal with similar themes. They deal with similar creatures, but they are definitely like different movies. But they also tackle a lot of the same themes, surprisingly.
I think we sort of come to that naturally. Like that's sort of where the genre and where leads you if you're trying to make that sort of a monster movie. Like monsters are very rarely in any movie literally just monsters, and at least in terms of the metaphorical meaning of it. Usually monsters sort of stand in for a group of people, for especially like marginalized people and so on. So that's something that you see over and over, like Nightbreed, and
oh yes,
I'm trying to think of what else. That was one of the movies I watched beforehand as research was Nightbreed.
Yes.
The Monster Squad. Monster Squad, they're straight up villains, but.
Is there? Oh yeah. What is some of your favorite horror films? Would you call it a horror film? This movie, because it's kind of between different things.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, there's little dashes of like horror style things, but really it's not overall. I mean, I think it's more like a fantasy adventure.
Yes. Yes.
With little dashes of horror type things. I think the closest movie to it would be like Hellboy and Hellboy 2. Those are fairly close in terms of the genre and the tone and everything. Definitely a big influence is Guillermo del Toro, who is the modern day king of monster making.
Mm-hmm.
And he really leads the way in terms of like doing everything with practical, but then augmenting it with CGI and treating the monsters with very humanely and making sure that they're given a lot of love in terms of the design.
I will say he probably made my favorite rom-com.
Is that Shape of Water?
Yeah, you go. Where basically Creature from the Black Lagoon is in his own rom-com.
It's so amazing that he saw Creature from the Black Lagoon and was like, wouldn't it be nice if this had a happy ending where they got together? I'm going to do that. And then
like
just
if you were rooting
with
for
billions of dollars he makes
Black
it.
Lagoon here,
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of related to the Creature from the Black Lagoon as a kid. I didn't really get to see the movie till much later, right? You got motorcycle action.
Wow. Getting busy over there.
And we're losing daylight here. You see the sun has slowly been dipping. We barely have sunlight still, but I think you can still see Peace Plaza here. Hold on a minute. Peace Plaza.
It looks so cool. It looks like I can't wait to be there. Have
you been to SF Japantown?
No. Well, I mean, we've like driven through it, but like not
Yeah.
We haven't really done anything. So this will be great. That Saturday, it's so weird. We got accepted into another film festival.
Yay!
The Santa Clarita International Film Festival. Yay! Thank you. And
we're at
Santa Clarita, which is north of LA area. It's really close to where I live. And what's funny is, as soon as we got accepted, I emailed them like, please don't schedule us for the 11th. Please don't schedule us for the 11th. And then, of course, they scheduled us for the 11th. But they're playing us in the morning. So what we're going to do is be here in Santa Clarita, be there for the screening, do the Q&A afterwards, and then drive up as fast as we can to San Francisco for the Another Hole in the Head screening. And we'll be there Saturday night for it, and then we'll be there all throughout Sunday for any of the screenings happening on Sunday.
Yes.
I wish we could have been there all weekend, but
there's a lot of really great films. I mean, tonight we have a lot of local shorts, and then we also have this one pandemic-made feature-length film starring Mark Abrigo, fellow Filipino actor who's been in a few movies that we might know.
Oh, nice.
So that's kind of cool.
I'm planning to catch up on a whole bunch of them virtually. I'm excited to see Crabs, especially. I think that's
I saw that. Yes,
you saw it? How was that?
That was a lot of fun. It's like basically, well, technically, I hope it's not a spoiler, but they're not crabs. They're horseshoe crabs.
Yeah, no, that's in the trailer.
Like, they're horseshoe crabs. And for some reason, I thought those things were extinct for some reason for a while until I saw one in an aquarium.
Well, because they're super ancient, right? Like, they've been
Right.
almost exactly the same species since ancient times or whatever. That's longevity.
And then,
that's good design.
And apparently, they're very peaceful creatures. They're not harmful whatsoever. So don't go out like exterminating horseshoe crabs thinking they're dangerous or something. They're actually very helpful to us humans in medical research as well. So
don't go on a crusade against horseshoe crabs based on what you saw in the movie.
Yeah, it's actually it gets bigger than you would expect. There's actually some really great moments in it. Some of the costuming reminded me a lot of the Dark Crystal, like those crab creatures you saw from the Henson workshop. You know what I'm talking about? Like,
yeah, I think so. Yeah.
The toys. Oh man, that's some fantastic stuff. Talk about creature making, but you're not only just doing this film, you also have another award-winning film that's out right now and doing festival circuits. What's going on?
Yeah. So yeah, the film is called No Dogs, just No Dogs. And if you're wondering about the title, it's revealed in the movie why it's called that. And yeah, we produced it just this same year. We shot in I think February, and only one day of filming. And we were our writer, producer, main actress Georgina Tolentino. She was really inspired by what's going on sort of politically and racially and all these things. And she wrote a screenplay very, very quickly and got in contact with me, and I checked it out and like, wow, this is dynamite. Let's really make this. And it's had an incredible reception. It played right away at the Los Angeles Asian American Film Festival, premiering, same as my wife just handed me this food that I have to eat right now. I'll try not to.
Well, I want to hold you too long for me to deal here.
No, I'm good.
All right.
They played at LA Asian, the same as Monsters Without, and yeah, we've just been going festival to festival with it lately. We went to Chelsea Film Festival in New York, where we won the Audience Award and Best Supporting Actor Award, and then totally shocking to us, we won the Petit Prix Best Short Film Award, and it's an awesome honor, and we were so happy to get that. We made the film with pretty modest expectations. It's an extremely inexpensive little short film made mainly with favors. We have a circle of friends who all have amazing stuff. We shot it on a Red camera, but it's our friend's camera. And it's Freddie Duarte, our cinematographer, who also shot Monsters Without. Same guy, same team, We had modest expectations, but the reception's been really good, and I think there's a hunger for that sort of story. It's very different from Monsters Without. It's a very serious drama, but I think it's pretty hard-hitting, and it's done pretty well. We were also a finalist for the top prizes at the Twin Cities Film Festival in Minneapolis, and we have more festivals sort of coming up. No announcements yet, but we're hopeful to be able to say where we're going to be next, and fingers crossed, maybe it can get expanded into a feature. I know that's sort of on the docket.
Sounds like it, but it speaks volumes to like your range as a director. If you can go from genre to genre, I know everyone says I'm only like in the vampire films, but that's the only thing I make. But I'm just like 210% in the one project I'm working on right now. That you're going to get that impression. But I would love to be able to work on just like about any kind of movie. But it speaks volumes to you about just being able to pick up the range, like make a pretty lighthearted fantasy adventure like you're doing right now with horror characters from Philippine folklore, then going to an actual dramatic period piece.
Yeah,
it's a very heavy-handed end.
They're really, really different, and thank you so much for saying that. I think that directing often is it's the same job no matter what genre you're in. Not to say that every director can do every genre, but pretty often there's more crossover than one would think. It's the same trick, which is always how do we hit the audience with an emotional moment. how do we make it so this matters to people?
Right.
And it requires different tools sometimes, depending on if you're trying to make a monster sympathetic to people or make a dramatic moment hit, but it's the same end goal, which is that you just want the audience to forget for a moment that they're sitting in a theater watching people pretend. You want them to forget that and to instead engage with the moment.
That's it. Is anybody, actually, I want to go back to like our chat room here. Does anybody have questions? I mean, just spill it out if you feel like you want to ask Randal or me any questions about stuff, about filmmaking. I know you mentioned a red camera, and you got that for free. Right, or at least you got to be able to work with it for free. It's like if anybody, I know that not everybody in the chat is in the film world, but that's like one of the industry standard cameras. Like, Hollywood, all your favorite shows you're binge watching is probably shot on, more than likely was shot on one of these things. Even the MCU movies, I mean, big blockbusters, and we're actually, because of our network, we're actually able to get some of these things for free. That's the brilliance of the kind of networking and community that we actually can pull together.
Yeah, for sure. Like, community is the only thing that sort of keeps the ship running over here. Me and my company, Soliloquy Films, like, the only way we get along is through favors and people gradually sort of jumping on board and deciding like, hey, I want to work with these guys. I've been essentially doing the same thing here for like 12 years now, but 12 years ago I wouldn't have had access to like a good camera. I wouldn't have had access to these great actors. And it's like, each project you do, hopefully, even more than just, rarely does a movie at our budget level really make a ton of money. We're not doing it to get rich or anything, but it helps your reputation and it makes it so people want to work with you. And that's what elevates the next project, is getting people to want to work with you. The kind of people who have equipment they can help donate or incredible acting skills that they can put into it. That's why a big key to doing independent filmmaking is just to keep at it. No matter, even if it sort of doesn't make any sense to keep at it, you just keep doing it and doing it and doing it, and hoping that you're
doing it.
you're going to build it into something.
Right on. So, real quick, we got to make sure that everybody knows what's going on. What the logistics on getting to see this movie is. So I put it in the chat earlier, but it's at the Another Hole in the Head website. And I'll type it one more time for you guys. It's actually just the acronym, and AH, anotherholeinthehead.com. And you get a whole roster of all the films there, but look for Monsters Without, and it's going to be screening next Saturday here at New People Cinema. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at New People. Right, there we are. New People Cinema. Oop, let's get it right. I'm seeing everything backwards, and this is just my cell phone.
Yeah,
that's just my cell phone here. But we're all excited to see you. Have you guys come? Is anybody else coming with you, or are you going to be by yourself?
My wife and producer, Maria Luna Kamradt, she's coming.
Tell her I said hi. I know she's off camera, but tell her I said hi.
She's hiding right here, but I won't put her on camera.
She can probably hear me.
She can hear you.
Cool.
She can sort of hear you, so she knows you said hi.
Hi, Matthew.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, look forward to seeing you again.
And she's the engine behind all of this. I'm over here like writing crazy things and storyboarding impossible shots, and she's the one sort of saying like, okay, how are we going to get that building? How are we going to get this thing? She's got all the ins and outs of our location where we filmed at Bilaran Island in the Philippines.
You are a very lucky man to have somebody that's that understanding.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure you know that, but I just want to make sure I say it.
yeah, she's the only reason this movie exists.
It would be cool.
It would be a lot less of a thing if she wasn't there to guide it along.
Excellent. Real quick, there's something else I was going to say, but I can't remember what it was.
I brought props, so I'm just going to show these props off real quick. So, look.
Oh my gosh, you actually have a hard copy. I don't even have a hard copy of that.
The physical DVD copy.
A physical DVD. I don't even have a physical DVD.
Yeah, I'm bringing this. I'm bringing this to you next weekend.
Oh,
I'm gonna get it signed.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Can't escape it.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Thank you. Get it. Thank you so much. I'll definitely sign that for you. We actually worked on another movie and didn't even meet each other till after the movie was done. And everybody was telling me about, hey, you got to see this guy's movie. We should at least talk about the other films that, like that film and some of the other films that people should be watching, because we're here trying to promote people saying, hey, you should watch, films by Filipino Americans and stuff. But there's a lot out there to talk about. But namely, we both worked on Lumpia.
Oh yeah, Lumpia with a Vengeance. I mean, that's
Lumpia with a
that's
Vengeance.
the nexus point, the point of connection between like all of Filipino American filmmaking, right? Like they've
It
got
just
their
had a screening at San Diego Comic-Con. That's like a dream
Oh, yeah.
like location to be streaming your nerd creation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we were both watching with some like, why didn't we go out there for that? Looks like they had a good time.
I honestly, I think I would have just had anxiety about like the vid, the Omicron, the Transformer named Omicron. I mean,
Yeah.
I would have had a little bit of anxiety about that. I just went to a 49er game and I was having an anxiety attack. Because like there's too many people with masks and stuff. I'm like, okay, I don't know how I would deal with Comic-Con without. Okay, I'll just dress up like Spider-Man. I'll be fine. Covered up. My sister remembers me for Halloween. I had a Spider-Man. I have a full-on Spider-Man outfit, right? That's like gonna cover the bases. I'm good, But we didn't get to go to that one, unfortunately. But what did you do on that one?
Oh, what's that?
Oh yeah, we got a hashtag that you guys all should be posting. It's throw Lumpia on the big screen with a bunch of exclamation marks. Well, I don't think the exclamation marks are part of it, but
that's the next step, right? I'm looking forward to when it gets out there, when everyone's checking out Lumpia, and it's fully distributed and everything. That's going to be great. I think people are going to love it.
That's right. There's a lot of other great films out there that we just need to support, and just make sure you guys are all supporting it. We hear about these films, and we just like we were talking about here earlier with Metro Manila. We just like films could just also disappear. We don't know how to watch them at a certain point, right?
Yeah. I've been trying to seek out the films of Chris Chan Lee, who made Silent River, that just debuted also at the LA Asian Film Festival, and I managed to find his earlier film Undoing, but I can't find Yellow, which Patricio tells me is very important and I need to see, and then it just doesn't exist anywhere. I even asked Chris himself, like, hey, is there a way I can see this? And he said basically, I don't know.
It's crazy that films can just disappear if it's not like, if there's like not a demand for it, but there is a demand for it. But the thing about it is sometimes
it's not the right people demand, It's the Asian community wants this.
Yeah. But it's just really important. We hear about a film. It's like, just don't sleep on it. There's still a lot of films I need to see. I still need to see Yellow Rose. That's one movie I've been really on, like, I think the top of my list. And if you don't know what it is, look it up. It's about country music.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, country music. I'm not the biggest country music fan, but this movie might make me a fan. That's how good it is.
I think what's interesting is the director herself talked about how she's not really a country music fan. So she felt like it would be.
I would assume she is making a movie.
I think she said that she's not really a huge fan, but she felt like it would be the right thing to do to make the main character a fan, and for her to sort of dive into that and try and understand it. And that's such a cool directorial attitude. Like, let's build the character aside from my own preferences and try and understand it. And they share a producer with Lumpia. They have Ray Cuerdo. All right, I got another thing to show here. I got another prop.
You got another thing to show? Okay, go for it.
Get conversation going. I got the new comic book Carmina Beginnings that is also about Filipino mythology. And I just read it, and they have the aswang in it, and, well, I don't think explicitly, but they definitely, there was a capre in it, and various other creatures. So it was pretty cool. It's, Philippines mythology. It's coming together. It's getting out there. I mean, Trece is a huge watershed.
Trece, yeah.
Yeah, that's the big moment for all of this.
Did you know about Trece before you started working on Monsters Without?
No. Did the comic already exist then?
Yes, it's been around, like, I think, to the mid-2000s. I didn't learn about it until I went back to the Philippines. People were telling me about it. Goes, hey, have you heard of Trece? Right? And I go, no, where can I get it? I said, just go to the bookstore. I go, okay. So I started just piling on all these Trece comic books. And I literally, since I was in Manila and I was on my way to a film festival in Transylvania, I literally was reading it from Manila to Transylvania. This is really a strange development. Like, and I'm all like, I'm in a totally. I'm having to represent Aswangs in Vampire country, and I'm reading Trece on the way over there, and I'm like, awesome. Wow, there is some parallels between what we were all writing, and then also there's also Luis Portacio's Stone also kind of gets into that too. Like, you go and talk about comic writers and stuff. Mm-hmm. Hey, it's my sister Jillian. In New York. Hey, what's up?
Oh, and
hi, what's happening?
Looks like we've got Jake
She's
here.
actually starting to become a filmmaker herself. Did you know that? I have my sister's going to become a filmmaker, or she is a filmmaker, I should say. Oh, what happened? I think he ate his burger there. Is it burger time?
Just a second. Sorry about that.
It's okay. We got technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Yeah, my sister is in NYU and she's studying theater arts, but she's also been making movies now.
Oh, nice. Keeping the family.
Yeah, she's in the chat. So hi, Jillian. So, looking forward to seeing the new movie. I know she's like, I think she had one more scene to shoot for her short, so I'm kind of curious to see this new one. And I'm super jealous of like what college kids have access to now. Cause like they can get like perfect, like, good studio grade cameras.
Yeah.
I had an old Super 8 camera and an Aeroflex,
Yeah. Well, my students, cause I teach high school video production, and my students, like, they are shooting all on pocket 4K, Blackmagics. So like, they look insane. The movies look incredible, and the kids, they learn to expose it right, and they do what they can. But like it looks so good right out the gate because they have such good equipment. It's really lucky that they get that privilege. When I was in school, we were shooting on mini DV.
And then I had to work on a flatbed system because I was shooting 16 millimeter.
Wow. Okay.
Oh man.
I've never dealt with film ever.
Oh man. You don't know pain. And then I wanted to do a special effect, and I had to learn how to use an optical printer.
Mm-hmm.
Just I say, younger filmmakers that are growing up now do not have to suffer the pain of learning a dang optical printer.
Oh yeah.
Rephotographing the film, like, to do like a special. That's what they did in the original Star Wars, by the way.
Yeah. Watching all this
before
stuff
digital
Star Wars,
effects
they did like a matte pass, and like so they could get perfect compositing. It's so nuts.
I'm like done. I'm like, okay, I did it once. I'm glad I said I did it, but I would never go back. Never want to go back to that technology because it's prehistoric, man.
Mm-hmm.
And it's costly. And
I noticed our star Jake Macapagal. He's watching. If it's all right, I think I might invite him on to.
Why don't you invite him in real quick? Yeah.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Can you invite?
Or here, I think you have to do it. You're the host.
Oh my God! I hope I can invite him. Let's see, Jake. I don't know if I spell out the last name for me real quick. Oh, I got it. I'm gonna invite him. I got him. I added him in earlier. Thank you. Sorry about it. You're not spelling your name. I invited you so you could join us. We got the actor
if
joining
you so
us.
Wish, Jake. So Jake is our star. Oh, then here he
Hey,
comes.
Oh my gosh! Hey Jake, how's it going?
hi. I'm in quarantine. I just came back from San Francisco, but yeah,
You just came
I'm
back?
heavy.
Welcome back to
Yeah,
San
yeah.
Francisco.
I'm
Hey,
jet
thanks for the
lagged,
screening.
so yeah, I'm a little bit crazy. I mean, I saw you guys promoting and joining this chat, and I thought I'd support this because it's about filmmakers making it, Filipino filmmakers. Yeah. So hi.
Hey, how's it
Awesome. Well,
going?
thank you for joining us. So your quarantine, are you quarantining at the same place you were at before? Are you living nice?
Oh no, this is just a small hotel room, and we're just gonna be here for another 7 days, and can't wait to get out because yeah,
Can't wait to
because of
escape.
that new variant, the quarantine
The
changed again to
Transformer Omicron.
yeah. But
At least it has a cool name.
yeah,
Yeah, it's the coolest
Ox-
sounding name for a variant.
Yeah.
what oxymoron?
The Omicron or whatever they call it. Maybe I'm pronouncing it wrong.
No,
Oxymoron.
no,
Sounds like
it's
a
oxymoron for
transformer.
me. Yeah, well,
The
sorry, I did.
Transformer.
Yeah. Hi guys, sorry
The
to butt
Omicron.
in. I was
Yeah.
just
So
wanting to hear what you guys are up to.
oh yeah, no, we're just chatting about movies,
Ah,
about monsters and all of that. You know,
oh yeah, James, hi
Jake,
James. Yeah, it's my
are you aware that Monsters Without
say that again.
it's playing
Say that again,
online
Randall.
worldwide now?
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'm
it's
happy about
playing
that.
online all over the world now for this festival.
Yes.
So
So if you guys want to
Hazmat's
see it, it's
film
at
and
the Another
yours,
Hole in the Head website.
yes.
Let me go type that in again.
Yeah, definitely trying to get lots of people to check it out online. This is its big sort of technically the world premiere. It had its real premiere at LA Asian, but this is for across the world. The first chance everyone gets to see it.
Mm-hmm. And the film's called
Yeah.
Monsters Without. You can go to Another Hole in the Head website. I just posted it in there. Yeah, you can watch it now. you know?
It's Monsters Without and your film, right? What
Oh no, my film's not.
your
My film
film is
actually
all.
is an alumni of this festival, so it dealt with the
Oh,
us
I see.
and everything else. Oh, there it
Yeah,
is. That's the DVD. It's been out. It's been released and distributed and all that stuff. It's on
Amazing.
if you want to watch
Congratulations,
it.
man.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you so much. I'm looking forward to finally getting to see this film on the big screen. I think I saw on the small screen, and the sound wasn't finished yet, so this is going to be the more finalized version. I don't know. Sometimes there's like some other post-production tinkering that happens, but this is the first time I'm going to get a chance to see this on the big screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were very fortunate to see it on the big screen at the LA Asian Film Festival. I mean, it was very different from the way I saw it last Randall. So there's some magic happening there. So very exciting.
There's a lot of magic that happens in post-production,
Yeah. I mean, this movie, even after principal photography, and we did a rough cut, it barely existed. It essentially wasn't watchable because it's so many effect shots, so many things that have to really be put together. It really takes, you kind of have to imagine the movie the whole way through until it's finally 100% finished. You're always dealing with these sketchy storyboards that have been like placed into the movie until finally all the shots are done and you can enjoy it and hope that you hit the target.
Have you had a moment where it was like you come to the movie and it's just a black screen with white letters that tells you what you're supposed to see?
Yeah. No, I had several versions of that.
Yeah, I had moments like that. Like,
the composer wrote the score. The composer wrote the score to a version like that. It just had words and like sometimes some drawings, and I was like, "Don't worry, it'll be amazing. So write amazing music." And he's like, "Okay, sure. I assume it'll be amazing."
That's so awesome.
I love it.
Any fun stories from the production you want to share?
Yeah, I think we've told that, Randall. Why don't you tell them about the guano story?
Oh, the bats.
Oh, the bats.
Yeah.
Yeah. The caves they were shooting in.
Yeah, because we shot in some pretty epic caves, and the cave filming was like location filming on the location filming because we were already in Philippines, and we had to drive 5 hours to this cave, 5 hours south over to this cave, and it's way out of the way. And we get into the cave, and we pretty quickly find that like the floor is not rock. It's not, or like there's rock deep below, but above it is several layers of dried guano. Just many, many, many layers all across the entire floor of this cave. And at the top layer is the least dry of the guano, which is squishy and a little sticky. And so it kind of feels like you're just walking on goo. And not only that, but it smells the whole time extremely like ammonia. It's like an overwhelming smell. And we had I had the ambition of lighting and everything in the cave. So we brought in actual like movie lights on extension cables with the generator and everything. But it pretty quickly became apparent like that this was really hard on everyone, especially hard on the actors. So we pushed through the entire day of filming, and we got everything we needed in there. And then the actors, Jake and Dana and everyone, were kind of like, hey, Randal, can we shoot in this other cave that's right over here that does not have quite as much guano or bats? and being the benevolent leader that I am, I was like, okay, yeah, let's go over there. But we got everything we needed in the big cave. So it really worked out for the best because the other cave looked different. So it was kind of like, okay, let's get variety.
Yeah, I love like the aesthetic of caves. I always wanted to shoot in a cave, but you also are making me second guess that decision there when you just.
I mean, it's not as like comfortable as when you're watching a movie. Definitely, like it feels like, oh, it's not that bad in there. It's probably nice and cool, But inside the cave, the smell is what's overwhelming, and
it's also not flat, probably in all the places, and
no, it's not.
Lighting is difficult. I can't imagine how difficult it would be.
LED lights, handheld LED lights for all of our lighting eventually.
Oh my gosh!
It was just too hard.
I think what's interesting there is that when you're shooting in a film, a scene where guano is involved, is that do you react to the immediate reaction of your senses, or do you pretend that it doesn't exist? So it's a struggle for actors to actually, if you want to be in the moment, then you want to react to it because that's and then or the other way around is you act it out that it's not happening. So that's the interesting part about it.
I can only say that probably speaks.
But we never forgot it.
Acting abilities.
After every cut, all the actors were like, like ran.
No. I mean, the body doesn't lie. So I think if you look hard enough, you can see something there. if you look hard enough, yeah.
Oh, all right, let's go. let's continue this next take. Let's get to the next take.
Yeah.
Did it make you guys work faster because you just wanted to get the hell out of there?
Yeah, no, I think I remember a very specific moment when I was like thinking about what was going to happen next, and all the actors were like, let's just go, next take, please, next take. And I was like, oh, okay, like we got to move, because usually the actors aren't quite as, they want a moment too, but for this, no, they wanted to if we're doing another take, let's do it. If we're switching angles, let's go, let's leave.
Let's get out of here. Did you get the close-ups? All right, let's get out of here.
Yeah.
All right, we're done. Oh man. Yeah. Okay, you know what? It's getting down to the hour, so I'm going to have to start getting ready because I'm going to be hosting the Q&A for the shorts program. We got a bunch of short filmmakers coming in.
Nice.
But if you guys haven't already, please follow this movie. It's at Another Hole in the Head, Monsters Without. We have a screening next Saturday, and please check out the website. It's also streaming now because I know we have like an international crowd that kind of came into the room here. Some people are in New York, some people are in the Philippines, maybe here in the Bay Area or Los Angeles. And you don't have to be in the Bay Area to watch it. You can watch it on your own television set at home. So check it out. Let me type in the once again, anotherholeinthehead.com. It's actually the acronym. So go check it out here. again, thanks
Oh, there you
thank you
go.
both for being here. I appreciate you guys. You know.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Looking forward to being up there.
sending love from Manila, Philippines.
Yes, I want to go back to the Philippines. I haven't been back since 2019, like before the outbreak. So
Yeah,
I'm
well,
ready to go back
come
and
back again.
Yeah.
I mean,
shoot a
Gotta
movie.
get back there.
I want to
sure.
shoot a movie there next. I'm telling you straight up. All right,
Yeah.
guys.
All right.
I will see you guys. Thanks again, everyone.
Bye, Jake.
Thanks,
Thanks for the
Albert.
invite,
Bye,
guys.
everyone.
Bye, Randall.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Hazmat.
So
Bye, bye.
long.